Alright, so this is just a little tape because I want to catch the memo to myself that in this first reading of predicate logic, I'm really curious about this notion of spatiotemporal regions and what the implications of that are for logic as a whole and for this discourse. Because it seems like in this section, what's going on here is there is a comparison between the objects of predicate logic and their comparability to persons, material bodies, spatiotemporal regions, and what is it? And organizations. And just in terms of thinking through this idea of material theory, I would be interested in talking more about page 241 in dissecting those words and their terminology, especially because they come from really out of nowhere relative to the rest of the textbook. Then I also want to think about how denotations are bijective to what seems to be in reality a thought space. And that just sort of brings to mind questions about thoughts in general. What are thoughts? How can we build a theory of thought in terms of the very fabric of the universe being material? And I also want to kind of draw it back to this material theory and thinking through the conformity of material and then this other notion called crystal space as thought space, so that material space is that which is unconformed to the mind, so it's ineffable, it's beyond our conception really, and crystal space or thought space is that space which is in conformity with our tools of reason such that we can actually understand, but it leaves open the possibility that there are forms of knowledge that are beyond conformity. And that seems like a great discussion. Just trying to see if there's anything else left in my... Okay, I was really interested in this notion of between. Between, it appears in the discussion on arity, page 243, and it seems like that notion of between also is congruent with the discussion on page 245, where you have two different notations of relation, one in which the symbolic relation, or the relation symbol, is a set of parentheses, and then one where you have a capital R between two objects. And I really want to focus on this notion of between because it raises this issue, this kind of theme of thought space. And then the question is, when we have different relation symbols, do they have different semantics? That's, I guess, a deeper discussion, but I would want to know more about what is in between and how that word or how that context can sort of be applied to different kinds of substances, and if that's not just a coincidence. Okay, then no more questions. That's the memo.